We're now going to hear from Sanjeev Sabhlok, an Australian civil servant who thinks that I want to kill him. And let us hear from this shithead.
Of what's going on. After a full year of this pandemic, we have had less than a week of additional deaths from COVID-19. Less than a week that are over and above the 60 million that occur ordinarily from all causes each year. There are 52 weeks. We've had less than a week, 1 million over and above the normal 60 million. And of the 60 million, of that 1 million, from the Swedish experience, we can also conclude that many of these 1 million would have otherwise died this year anyway, because they were at the very fag end of their life and were already distressed. The novel corona pandemic is not a 1 in 100-year event, but it's closer to a 1 in 30-year event. And I've mentioned this in the Fin Review article, and that's a very basic point that anyone can calculate. My ballpark estimate is that this pandemic is at least 50 times less lethal than the Spanish flu, at least 50 times, and more likely to end up around 100 times less lethal. And further, we have the knowledge, expertise, and competence. If we had it, let's say we should have had it, we could protect most of these deaths, the deaths of the elderly, which we could avert, as I mentioned in the dedication. We've lost a lot of people, hundreds of them, because we did not focus our attention on them. The scientific literature on pandemics has considered public health measures for pandemics for decades. This is not new. As I mentioned in our paper, pandemics are never an unexpected emergency. They're fully anticipated. We know that they happen. We know what to do. We have planned for them. And science, by the way, has rejected repeatedly the concept of lockdowns, which are considered to be a menace.
Is this fucking cretin saying anything which is true? And the answer is no. He's talking nonsense. Does he actually know anything about science or about statistics or about economics? And the answer is no. He's got a PhD, but it's shit. You know, he was a guy who basically was useless as an Indian civil servant. So you sent off. Go off. Go, you stupid cunt. And he got a PhD in shit. And then he went to Australia. And he was, the Australians hired him, but they hired him for a purpose. You see, the Australians wanted to export a lot of coal and other shit to India. That's why he was there. He's a worthless man. And what's he saying? You know, look at the way that he talks. That's not a good English accent, is it? But is it? But you know, this is what he's going for. He's going for an English accent, but it's not an English accent at all. It's shit. And this little man, you know, this disgusting man whom I've threatened. You know, 7 years ago, I threatened him. I said, look, you're a fucking child rapist. You and your father are child rapists. And if I come across you, I'll beat you to death, you fucking paedophile cunts. I've said this. He's put it on his blog. He said, "Oh, well, you know, could somebody please get this guy arrested in London?" But the law doesn't work that way. The way the law works is that I make a complaint that this man and his father before him, they raped children. They had sex with children. This is not something that we can tolerate. I'm glad that this man has said that he is not Hindu, because I am a Hindu. And Hinduism has rules, niyam, vidhi. These are rules. If you break these rules, you will go to hell. And I say to you, you worthless piece of shit, you will go to hell. You and your father will go to hell. Because you have not done prayaschitam for harming and hurting girls. Now, I know, these are complicated issues. I know I'm a South Indian and these people are North Indian, and I cannot impose my South Indian values on North Indian. Worthless! Cunt! Pieces of shit! I can't do that. Because they are less civilized. They are less intelligent. They are pieces of shit. Sabhlok tried to fuck with me. You know, he was basically, he thought that he had this vast network of people, and that they would, put me in jail. Yeah, in London. That isn't. But the fact is that when I say that I want to kill, and I want this man to be killed for his disgusting attitude towards children, sex with children is wrong. This man must understand that. Now, what is he saying about, COVID and so on? It's nonsense. This guy doesn't know statistics. He doesn't know shit about anything. He's just pretending. He's basically a generalist who, got a PhD in shit. And he was at a place where they actually have these shit PhDs kind of raise your hand. And, if you're a shit Indian bureaucrat and you're sent off to do a shit PhD, the Indians are going, hopefully the guy will come back because he's useless, he's worthless, he's a stupid cunt. And, of course, the Americans, they know that, they understand that. They have shit bureaucrats as well, and, give him a PhD and push him out into the world. The Australians took him. Why? The Australians wanted to do nasty, nasty, nasty things by exporting rubbish. Australia needn't be such a shithole. Australia can really be a lot better for its own people. It doesn't have to set fire to the fucking globe in order to have a very good standard of living. It can have a better standard of living, but there are bribes and Mr. This worthless cunt. Sabhlok, you can't say anything against him because he's black, isn't he? You're racist if you say anything against him. But I'm blacker than him, and I can say anything I like on that basis. He is a worthless piece of shit. He is what is called, he thinks of himself as high caste. He isn't high caste at all. He's shit caste. We stamp on these cunts. this worthless man is well, what's he doing? Well, I know he's got children, and he's got, I think his son is old enough to defend the father. And I hope that the son has not been sodomized by the father. And I say that, the reason I say that is because this is the level that this worthless man stoops to. And I say this, I have not been attentive to this piece of shit because he was so obviously a lunatic, a person who's really shit. You know, he tried to intervene in Indian politics, and he was mercilessly derided for his utterly foolish intervention. This is a man who is worthless. I say this again. Sabhlok, every single sentence that is written is stupid. I say this again. Sabhlok is not, he doesn't have even 1 ounce of intelligence. By contrast, Sabhlok says about me that I'm intelligent. Well, of course I am. Compared to him. Compared to him, everybody is intelligent. And Australia must make up its mind. Either you can go with very smart people, or you can go with four British, people with 4 false English accents, and and really worthless American PhDs. Really worthless. I emphasize this. You will see, the guy is not really a statistician. He doesn't know Simpson's paradox. He doesn't know shit. Now, I do, because you see, I was 16 when I went to LSE, and I slept through the lectures and so on. But I was tall, and I'm very black. And I did do some excellent work as the night watchman of the Indian YMCA. I had a job, a full-time job, and I did an excellent job there. So, people who really were smart, they sort of come along and they'd bloody teach me stuff, And, Greek people, when I went to Russia, to Moscow, people would teach me a little bit about maths. And I'm terrible at maths. But I do, I know a lot. Purely passive way. And I know about econometrics because that's what I was supposed to be studying. And I knew that econometrics is shit. It's junk social science. It's rubbish. But that doesn't mean. I'm so sorry. I must stop here.